So you saw Anthony Albanese giving a speech there, which is nothing unusual, but what has been a little weird is that for the past week we've hardly seen the Prime Minister. And that's kind of strange because there's a lot happening. The budget is just a few weeks away. Interest rates were bumped up again on Tuesday. There's been debate about changes to the Stage 3 tax cuts. And the global and regional strategic and economic situation is pretty fraught. But after a press conference last Friday, all we really heard from the PM this week was a fluffy FM radio interview the other day.
A headline that struck us, Prime Minister, on the Daily Mail. Botox, fillers or just clean living? Albo debuts a fresh new look as he sports a smoother complexion following his weight loss and style transformation. Have you had Botox and how many fillers have you had, Prime Minister?
Seriously, I think whoever wrote that article's been having Botox in the wrong place.
You reckon they're dribbling a bit, do you? Albo,
they're in real strife.
Yeah, there was serious business in Canberra yesterday when the PM met with his Solomon Islands counterpart Manasseh Sogavare in a crucial diplomatic intervention to help repair our relations and keep Chinese strategic interference at bay. But there was no media conference or interview afterwards. So this strange silence from Albanese, an obvious attempt to keep out of the news cycle, was starting to generate a fair bit of commentary inside the bubble, which no doubt prompted an unscheduled doorstop interview today. It didn't last long because the focus remained on whether the government will stick to its promise to deliver the legislated Stage 3 tax cuts in full.
One of the things I said today was that you have the global central banks are all acting in a simultaneous way for the fastest and highest tightening of monetary policy that we have seen in decades. That is a fact, and that is something that, of course, feeds into budget deliberations in itself. Thanks very much.
So how can you thank the Prime Minister?
Interesting, isn't it? Just makes you think the internal fight within the government about those tax cuts is more serious than you might think. Surely Labor wouldn't break this promise, would they? Could they? The Treasurer seems to be trying to make a case.
When it comes to the tax cuts, I think we've made the obvious point that when it comes to cost of living relief, it should be targeted at people on low and middle incomes. We don't have an endless amount of money in a budget, which is heaving with $1 trillion in Liberal Party debt. And so when it comes to providing cost of living relief, like I will in the October budget, when it comes to childcare and medicines and the cost of education, we need to make sure that cost of living relief has an economic dividend as well, and that's what we're focused on.
Interesting, isn't it? Sounds like he's thinking about clawing back some of that money. He's also, of course, overstating the government debt, and he's blaming it on the coalition when plenty belongs to Labor. It's all pretty weak stuff. But the real point here is that while Labor loves to point to a worsening global situation, these tax cuts are 2 years away and they won't impact on the current situation. Besides, the current budget position is $50 billion or more better than it was expected to be at the election. So there can be no excuse for Labor backing out of any tax promises. The budget has only improved since the election. The bottom line here is that if Labor is going to fiddle with tax already, it is for one reason and one reason alone, and that is because they already realise they've got no chance of controlling their own spending.